When Black lives are under attack, what do?
A call for action and fight for change.
We will not be silenced.
Community members and leaders made their voices heard in front of Allentown City Hall Monday afternoon.
Just to think that people have to go to work in fear for their lives.
Since Friday, Allentown police continue to investigate an item resembling a noose found on a city employee's desk.
This egregious act is not just an affront to one individual, but it is an attack on the entire community.
Several spoke during a rally calling for transparency, prevention, and an immediate federal investigation among a list of demands. This incident, community members note, is not the first racial discrimination issue City Hall has dealt with. Josie Lopez is a close friend of the victim.
They're always a community leader, always pushing for equality. They might be bruised right now, but they're not broken.
The victim is not being named due to safety concerns.
Our colleague was threatened. This was an act of terror. This was a hate crime.
All right, y'all. Well, just like you saw in that previous clip, the latest Democrat propaganda outrage was over a school board director and member of the Allentown, Pennsylvania teaching board allegedly had a hate crime done on them when they walked into their classroom and they found a noose on their desk. And oh my God, can you imagine how they felt when they walked in and there's a noose laying there? And you're like, oh my goodness, how could somebody be so despicable? And like always, when a Democrat comes out and says that there's a hate crime and, that white supremacy is on them, the whole liberal media, they say yes, and they start blasting it all over the place. And they go get the good old BLMs and the Antifa crowd, and they say, oh, we about to have some fun with this one. Until, like with every other hoax that we've been through before with the left-wing extreme libtards, give it about a week, give it about 2 weeks. Let the investigations get rolling. And guess what we find out? That it was a big pile of you-know-what. It was a complete and totally fabricated lie that could have cost an unnumberable amount of people their lives. What if somebody would have seen that news report and decided they wanted to go and just shoot them somebody that they thought was racist? Or what about the people that saw that and just got emotionally charged up and feel like we're back in 1825 rather than 2025? And so they're all pissed off and amped up about nothing. So let's check out this post from the Libs of TikTok. And also in this video, I'm not going to just show you this with the Libs of TikTok. I'm going to show you a video clip of exactly what the police officers actually found and what it is that they're going to be doing to this woman. And let me ask you this question and put it in the comments. Do you feel when people do these fake hate crime hoax, should they be sent to prison? Should they be charged and convicted, or with freedom of speech, should they be just kind of a slap on the wrist, or if anything? So in the comments, let me know, should people be punished for these fake hate crimes, or is it their, First Amendment freedom of speech protection to spew lies like they did? I just want to get your feedback, but let's get into it. And you got to forgive me for the setup. I'm at my daughter's place for the week out in Colorado. So I'm not in my office, so I don't have my typical stuff. And if you see that cool, that Dragon Ball Z character that's playing spades, that's my daughter and her fiance stuff. So just so you know, kind of a change of scenery for the next few videos that I put out this week. But Libs of TikTok put up new race host exposed. The woman's name is LaTarsha Brown, a city employee, coincidentally in Allentown, Pennsylvania. What's up with Pennsylvania? Pennsylvanians are crazy. We had the attempt on the president's life. Now we got this crap, not to mention all the other BS that's going on out there. It got to be something in the water. We got Governor Shapiro allegedly being involved in the attempt on the president's life, allegedly the sworn affidavit that was put out. I actually have a video on that. If you missed it, go through the feed and you'll be able to go through the listing, your playlist, and you'll be able to see that video. It's deep. But it says LaTarsha Brown, a city employee in Allentown, PA, and school board member at Allentown, was charged with making a false report and tampering with evidence after she reported that she found a noose on her desk at City Hall in January. She was reportedly not cooperative during the investigation, and DNA samples show only her DNA was on the noose. And this is what she looks like. And like I stated earlier, she's actually the director of the school board there in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So we got a school board director member of the teacher board, that's creating fake hate crimes, putting nooses on their desks to get people charged up, and for what? You see, the left-wing libtards, all they have is hate, division, and chaos. And I don't know if you saw it recently, Ghetto Jasmine Crockett was doing an interview and flat out said the Democrats don't have any legislation that they're working on at all. They're not a part of anything progressive. They're just trying to save their dying party. Now, the last time we dealt with somebody in this fake hate crime crap, you may, or maybe you don't remember, but in case you don't remember, let me jog your memory and take you back down not so distant memory lane. Tell me, do you remember when this happened? And does this remind you of this?
Actor Jussie Smollett telling police he was brutally attacked in Chicago early Tuesday morning. Police tell ABC7 a dozen detectives are pursuing new leads, including grainy photos of two persons of interest. Tonight, police have tracked Jussie Smollett's movements, confirming video shows Smollett walking across the street from those two persons of interest. He walks out of frame for about a minute and reappears on another camera, quote, wearing a rope like a necktie. There is no video of an assault. Investigators say Smollett then walked into an apartment building, passing security and boarding an elevator. He would enter an apartment, and that's where police were eventually called. Police also confirmed Smollett told them he was on the phone with his manager as his attackers yelled racial and homophobic slurs. But detectives can't verify because he refused to give them his phone.
And now we all know what happened with the Jussie Smollett situation. It all turned out to be a big fat lie. And then he was convicted. He was charged and convicted, sentenced to prison. And guess what the city of Chicago did later after, you know, the attention span of the general public is super short. So guess what they did? His conviction was overturned. Did you know that? You may not be aware of that. But let's check out this next clip, because in this next clip, we're going to have the actual Allentown Police Department talking to us about Miss LaTarsha Brown, what they found and what it is that they're doing. Check this clip out.
The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews of persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor of the second degree, and false reports to law enforcement, a misdemeanor of the third degree. As in every criminal case, the fact that a warrant has been issued or a complaint has been filed is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law. I'm now going to ask Captain Milkovich to provide a summation of this investigation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovich, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee LaTarsha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca.
So, so as usual, again, another left-wing libtard fake hoax that's been exposed, just like this whole leaked war plans crap that was put out by Jeff Goldberg, who's the same Russia journalist, and a list of other things. I actually have a video coming on that because he's been exposed, and I'm going to share with you exactly what he's guilty of, and it'll blow your mind. But here we got again another example of the Democrats, no message, no leader, nothing but chaos, lies, fake outrage, and hypocrisy. And I'm here for it. Every single time we dig, we find out that these left-wing extremist libtards are nothing but liars and propagators of chaos, and I'm over it. And I know you over it too. So I hope this lady gets the book thrown at her. And for the record, when that video was glitching like that, that wasn't me. That was the actual video clip on their end. You know, hey, got to save face. But hey, if you're still here with me and you're watching it this far, you know, share your feedback in the comments on what you think about this. And if you haven't already, like the video, share the video. As always, I'm so thankful that you hung in there and you watched this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell saying, hey, I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all, from Colorado this week. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.